It sounds like the band is jumping out of the speakers and playing in your living room.
Giant Orange Records.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Giant Orange Records. I'm your host, Stefan, a music lover and aviation nerd who's always looking for the next great record. I'm back home after the Fort Lauderdale Record Show, and my brain is still buzzing. This was a mission, a marathon, and honestly, one of the most successful vinyl exchanges I've ever had. Records like crazy, right? My goal was simple. Take all the cash I had from my vinyl yard sale last weekend, and I literally spent every last dollar at the record show. It's an endless, beautiful cycle of cash to vinyl and vinyl to cash and back and forth, and I spent it all. I didn't get any Kinks mono records at the show. The few sellers that had Kinks records only had reissues or US versions. And of course, I'm after the UK originals. But the hunt taught me a few things, especially this: you can't judge a booth by its cover. So I started off in the cheap bins. Some of the prettiest, most presentable booths had nothing for me, but the most disheveled, crazy looking tables were gold mines. My first two booths had a bunch of $3 steals. These record shows are a world of extremes. Like, these $3 records would be like 10 to 15 to 20 at a normal record store. And they were $3 at this booth. So they were like extremely underpriced. But then a lot of the more rare records were extremely overpriced, like 2, 3, 4 times what Discogs would charge for the best condition. But anyway, here's some of my $3 hauls. William Bell, this is a Stax record, a Charlie reissue from the 80s. This thing is still sealed. Great soul. You don't miss your water, and you don't miss your soul. A relatively clean copy of the Impressions, which these records are always beat up to hell, if you could ever find them. Chubby Checker and Dee Dee Sharp on the Cameo label. I've never heard this record, but at least it's got a cool cover. Jackie D. Shannon's, I believe this is her first record. It's kind of folky. She was one of the first female songwriters to really kind of hit it big. And then Cher. There's a lot of cool songs on here, like some Byrds covers and some Kinks covers, and actually a Jackie D. Shannon cover. This is Hall of Fame by Georgie Fame, and this is like a British pressing. You can tell by how floppy the cover is. Oh, some Garage Gold. The Shape of Things to Come by Max Frost and the Troopers. I've only heard this track. Maybe it's on Pebbles or something. Haven't heard the album, but for $3, couldn't pass that up. And then the Astronauts, Orbit Campus, with a K, everyone's favorite landlocked surf band from the 60s, even though they're more of like a frat rock band. They get called surf, but they're really like a frat band. Oh, and the Ohio Express, Beg, Borrow, and Steal. That's what record collectors have to do to pay for all these records. And then, oh man, Everly Brothers, Fabulous Style Of on Cadence. This one looked like it was in pretty good shape. And Groovin' by the Young Rascals. I have a copy of this, but it's beat to shreds. And this $3 copy is nicer than the one I had. And here's one from the Mainstream Records label. It's a single by The Last Nickel, Nikle. There's a song called She's the One, and it's on both sides. So I've never heard this, but it's a promo copy on Mainstream Records, which is every site collector's favorite label, right? So I also picked up this Ramones double CD called Anthology from the Rhino Warner Archives. Ever since I read Marky Ramone's book, I've been on a huge Ramones kick, and there were no Ramones albums, no vinyl at this record show, only this CD set that came with a huge booklet. And at that same booth, I found a few DVDs. Yellow Submarine, Beatles, great movie. My son loves that because he's a kid and kids love the Beatles. So do adults. This Bob Dylan biography thing, I don't know. Another Bob Dylan, Don't Look Back. And the Rolling Stones, Jean-Luc Godard, Sympathy for the Devil movie. I've never seen this, but I don't know, it might be cool. Any footage of the Stones in the studio is cool. This is all written in Spanish, so hopefully this will work on my US DVD player. And then the guy at this booth, I can't remember his name, but he was super friendly and he kept making deals for me. So I got this More of the Monkees album because it's in better shape than the copy I have. Can't remember what he charged me for this, but he just kind of made one lump sum deal. The Beach Boys in concert. This is from the early 1970s. Little Deuce Coupe, another Beach Boys record I didn't have. And since Brian Wilson passed away this summer, these Beach Boys records are getting expensive, except at these record shows where record sellers want to sell them. And boy, did I get some early Donovan. I love early Donovan. It's so psychedelic. This is History of British Pop Music, Volume 1. I think I found Volume 2 at another booth later. This is a double combo cheapo LP of Sunshine Superman and In Concert and Catch the Wind. Like I said, I just love these early Hickory records that Donovan did. So yeah, I met a guy that works at the Funky Biscuit. That was pretty cool. We were talking at this other booth where I found the Temptin' Temptations in mono. Quite a nice record. The Beach Boys, Summer Days and Summer Nights. This copy's actually a lot nicer than what I had. This one's in mono. Great album right before Pet Sounds. It's almost like Pet Sounds Jr. in a way. Wipeout by the Surfaris. This surf record I didn't have in my collection yet. And then Donovan Volume 2 on Pi Records. This is a good series of compilations. I have the Kinks version. And then I met Blue Note Bob at this next booth. It was one of those unsuspecting booths that had awesome stuff. We talked about jazz, obscure psych, garage rock, and our love of Carl Davis. But he made me an awesome deal on this 96 Tears question mark in the Mysterians, mono original pressing on Cameo. This is like garage rock, proto-punk dynamite. And the Pretty Things on Fontana. I mean, these are probably like my two best scores on the whole trip. Then at this other booth, a guy had a bunch of like new wave and power pops. I found this Photos record from 1979. Pretty awesome new wave power pop kind of stuff. This was actually on my list, so I was glad to find that. And he had this Norton Records Savage Young Sonics, some recordings by the early Sonics in 1961. And they're just like the best garage rock band ever. This thing is sealed. And Neil Young, I believe this is a first pressing of Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, one of the most important guitar rock records of the late 60s. And then there was this other booth where I found this record by the Inmates. I never really heard them before, but I think I've seen this somewhere. It's like late 70s, early 80s, like power pop type stuff. And then I stopped by Record Head Ed's booth. Yeah, this is where the real magic happened. I spent every last dollar I had on me making a deal with him, and he gave me an awesome quantity discount. And he's from Fort Pierce, so go figure. But the first one I found there was this Young Rascals, Good Lovin'. Ain't Gonna Eat Out My Heart Anymore is like one of the coolest rock songs from 65. And I had a copy of this. I think I have a mono and stereo, but they're pretty beat up. And this one's in pretty nice shape, actually. And then, holy crud, I found this first Zombies album featuring She's Not There and Tell Her No. Mono version Holy cow, what a find. He had $80 listed on this. He sold it to me for 30. So that is like the deal of a lifetime. That was worth the drive and all the hassle alone. Then the Shadows of Night, Gloria. This one was on my list, way up high on my list. This is the Dunwich pressing. I think it's mono. It doesn't say stereo on it, so it's probably mono. I haven't looked up the numbers on it. Then there was this awesome one by Cannibal and the Headhunters. This is like frat garage Latino rock from Los Angeles. He gave me a great deal on that. The Beach Boys Concert. This is a much cleaner copy of this record. And Mike Campbell talks about this record in his book, Heartbreaker, and it made a pretty big impression on him. This is the only live recording of all 5 Beach Boys together, and I think it's from 1964. So, yeah, nice and clean. And there's some pretty good rock and roll on here. I guess Brian Wilson quit touring shortly after this. I've been looking for this one. Another Great British Invasion mono. The Rolling Stones, Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass. Yeah, the early Stones mono sounds so much better than the early Stones in stereo. The Grail crossed off my list. I've had the stereo version forever. Now I got the mono. And man, this one blew my mind that he had the Gentrys. You may remember them from their 1965 hit, Keep On Dancin'. I have that record. It's a great like frat rock garage album. This is more psychedelic. This is on Sun Records from, I believe, 69 or 70. There's a really fuzzed out cover of Neil Young's Cinnamon Girl on here. I think he sold this to me for $5. What a deal. And let's see. Oh, yeah, there's this Ripcords record, 3-window coupe. And I see on the label production credits, there's on the writing credits, I see Terry Melcher and Johnston. I guess that's Bruce Johnston, who would later go on to join the Beach Boys. And here's Everly Brothers Best. This is a lot cleaner than the copy that I had. This is on Cadence. And yeah, man, I love the early Everly Brothers. It's just like such great early rock and roll country. I don't know. It's just music. It's awesome music is what it is. And then record head Ed threw in this Dave Clark 5 album. And he said in the 60s, it was like, who's going to be the bigger band, the Beatles or the Dave Clark 5? And he was like, well, the answer's obvious now, but it wasn't so obvious at the time, because he said the Dave Clark 5 just had hit after hit after hit. And these guys sold a lot of records, and nobody really cares about Dave Clark 5 records so much these days, but a lot of people care about Beatles records these days. And after the record show, I had a nice relaxing walk at the Secret Woods Park, which is operated by Broward County, nice and close to the hotel where the record show was. And then I went and watched some airplanes at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport airplane viewing area, which is situated right between the two runways there. And I met a German photographer there, and we talked for like an hour about ISO settings and shutter speeds and different airlines and the jets that they fly. So that was pretty fun. But before we go, I'm going to do a quick top 5, my top 5 records from the record show in no particular order. Question Mark and the Mysterians, 96 Tears. I mean, come on. So awesome. The Pretty Things on Fontana, because, you know, it's the pretty things. Shadows of Night, Gloria, and of course the Zombies go with that. Wait, that's 4. So 5, even though I haven't heard this entire album, I'm going to go with the Gentrys just because this album cover is so freaking cool. So man, this was quite a haul. It's probably one of my best record haul days ever. This is so many records. When I'm going to listen to all these. But, you know, I'll have them when I need them, and it'll give me years of enjoyment to come. I almost never regret buying records. Sometimes I regret selling them. Not really. If I don't like them, I can either give them as gifts to friends or sell them. So, oh, and before the lights go completely off, go check out my band, The Electric Splash, on the Electric Splash YouTube channel. Go check out our latest video over there. If you like the content of this channel, you're probably going to like the music of The Electric Splash. So, yeah, little shout out to my own project, my other project here, my music project. Been spending a lot more time on that lately. So I'll get back to more Giant Orange videos soon, but I got to make the music when the music's calling for me. So you know how that goes. Hey everyone, quick follow-up post-turntable. It is now a full day after the Fort Lauderdale Record Show, and I've had a little bit of time to spin a handful of these records. And quick takeaway is I think I have a new mantra for when I'm looking for records at a record show, online, or a record store is if I tell myself or my friends, you have to hear this, you absolutely have to hear this, that is a good criteria to pass the test. And this Zombies debut absolutely meets that criteria. It has so much more punch and life, and it sounds like the band is jumping out of the speakers and playing in your living room. This is the US Parrot pressing, I believe. But man, this mono kicks a lot of ass. I gave the Cannibal and the Headhunters Land of a Thousand Dances a spin. Really cool note about this. Well, for one, they added the na 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 part to Land of a Thousand Dances, which is a cover, which wasn't on the original. The lead singer, Cannibal, forgot the word, so he just ad-libbed that part. And then Wilson Pickett picked up on it and had a huge hit, and that was the version I'd been most used to hearing. But man, this one, it's like a garagey surf band doing like soul songs, but with that sort of like Latin flavor to it. It's really cool. Oh, and Seymour Stein wrote the liner notes to this album, which is really cool. And I'm not big into wrestling, but some of my friends are. And cool note on this Gentry's album, which has an awesome little sun face on it. Their lead singer is Jimmy Hart, and he was known as the Mouth of the South in the wrestling community. So I guess after the band, some of my friends, he did a wrestling career, and some of my friends knew that he was in a band before he, did the wrestling thing. But they didn't know which band, so now I was able to tell them that. And again, the Gentrys are really known for their 1965 hit "Keep On Dancing," which is awesome to have that album too, which I love. Very garagey, and this one's a little bit more like psychedelic. And again, their cover of Neil Young's "Cinnamon Girl" is good. The covers on this album are actually all pretty good, and the originals are okay too. And this 96 Tears original pressing, holy cow, it has so much punch and bass, and it just jumps out of the speakers, kind of like the Zombies record. We'll see you in the next Giant Orange video. Yeah. Wipeout!
Giant orange, giant orange, giant orange, giant orange, giant orange.